but I have coworkers that are helping me. So it's all very good. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. So happy to have you here. It's Saturday morning. We have sunshine. We are going to have a strength and a gentle class, so strong and gentle, trying to bring both worlds together so we can get moving and work and get some tension and stress out at the first part of the class. And then we're going to just have more of a deeper stretch in the back half. Do what you can, always listen to your body, and you are here for yourself. So thank you for joining. Let's lie down on our backs, and we're going to bring our knees into our chest. And I want you to just give yourself a nice good morning Saturday squeeze. And I want you to take a nice big breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And we'll do that again. A nice big breath in and exhale out through your mouth. We're going to eventually transition to breathing in and out through the nose. Let's stretch our legs out on the mat, nice and long. Take your arms, reach them over your head, interlace your fingers, and take a big, beautiful stretch. And I want you to take such a beautiful stretch that you can really feel your ribs expand and contract. You can really feel your belly rising and falling. I want you to point your toes away from you. You're going to really reach through your interlaced fingers and press your palms away from you, and then even turn your head from side to side a few times. I want you to just get that nice stretch in your neck. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose from here on in as best you can. Release your arms. I want you to bend your right leg into your chest. We're going to start to roll the ankle. We'll do that a few times in one direction and then in the other direction. And then I want you to stretch your leg up towards the ceiling, point and flex your foot. You can hold the back of your leg if you want. Just give the back of the leg a little massage. Squeeze and release your toes. We're going to get into those tight muscles. You might hear cracking sounds. I can't hear it for you guys because I turned all of your volume off this time. I'm getting smarter. All right, and release the leg. We're going to bend the left leg in. Give it a nice squeeze. Roll your ankle a few times in one direction, a few times in the other direction. And then stretch the legs straight up. Point and flex. Open up the toes. Make your foot into a fist. Maybe massage the back of the leg. And then lower the leg back down. I want you to bring your arms over your head again. This time, grab onto your left wrist and pull yourself over to the right side. Take a really big breath again into your rib cage, and you're going to hopefully feel a nice stretch on the left side of the body. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, grabbing your right wrist and pulling over to the left, and just open up those ribs. Nice big breath. Come back to center. I want you to hug both knees into your chest again. And now this time, we're going to start to move around a little bit. I want you to just start to roll from side to side a little bit. You might be massaging over your low back area. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it, of course. If you can tolerate this with your back, I want you to keep your abdominal muscles nice and strong. You can grab behind your legs, and we're going to lift our head and shoulders up. You can just try to keep your neck relaxed, but you're pulling your abdominal muscles in. You might even release your hands, and we'll hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your head and shoulders back down. I want you to stretch your legs straight up in the air. Bring your hands alongside the body. We're going to slowly lower our legs down for a count of 5. And go only as far as it works for you. So for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to come back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to bend your knees into your chest, round yourself. This time, make yourself into a little tiny package, squeezing yourself in. And then if it works for your body, we're going to roll up and down on our spine a few times. If this does not feel good, just bring yourself up to a seated position. We're going to come all the way up after you've done that a couple of times into a boat pose. You can have your feet flat on the ground. Your spine is nice and strong and straight. You're leaning back about a 45-degree angle. You can float your feet up if you'd like. You can release your hands if you like. And we're just going to start here. Our nice way to start off our practice this morning. Keep the core nice and strong for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your feet back down. I want you to bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to fold forward. So you can press your elbows inside your legs. Just take a nice stretch in your back. Tucking your chin in, pulling your belly muscles in. And then let's lift ourselves up. I want you to come onto your hands and your knees. Setting up in a tabletop position. We're going to just start to move the hips from side to side. And you're going to keep your abdominal muscles pulled in. I want you to try to keep your neck nice and soft and relaxed. You're not clenching your teeth, but you're just trying to loosen everything up. You're getting ready here for some movement, some more vigorous movement. Get the blood pumping. We'll come back to a flat back, and I want us to just move into some cat and some cows here. And as you're doing the cat and the cows, you're inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Let's do one more of each. And then we'll just remind ourselves of a brilliant posture that you can always take at any time. Big toes touching, knees nice and wide, lowering yourself down, coming into child's pose. This is a great position to stay in at any time, especially if your wrists feel a little sore and you need to have a little less pressure on your arms. So let's just take a couple big breaths here. We're going to walk our hands over to the right side of the mat, pressing into the opposite hip. Get that nice lateral stretch again in our rib cage, and then walk the hands over to the opposite side, pressing into the right hip. And then back to center, bringing yourself up, either staying in a tabletop position or coming up into downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, it's completely okay how this pose is right now. I want you just to start to pedal out your legs. It does not have to be perfect by any means. You're just going to pedal out your legs, release your neck. Remember to keep breathing. I want you to have all 10 fingers spread nice and wide, pressing into the ground. You're thinking about your back and you're lengthening. You're making your spine nice and long. And then let's even from here come up nice and high on our tiptoes. Send your tailbone up towards the ceiling and then sink down any amount through your heels. We'll do that again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sinking back down. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering back down. We're going to come forward with our right foot and then our left, or you can walk up. And inhale, lengthening into a flat back and fold yourself forward. And when you fold yourself forward here, I want you to take a nice shake out of your arms. You can release your neck again. Keep your abdominal muscles pulled in just to support the back. And we'll even maybe travel with our hands a little bit. We'll walk over to one side and over to the other side. Come back to center. And then from here, still with our strong core, we're going to slowly, bone by bone, just click ourselves back up into space, clicking the spine back up into place, coming into our standing tall position, coming into a mountain pose, letting your arms rest alongside the body. Shoulders are back. Take a nice big breath. We're going to do some sun salutations. Okay, I'm going to face forward. So we're at the top of the mat, feet together, arms out. Inhale, bring your hands together, fold forward. Lengthen into a flat back, so your hands can be on your shins or fingertips on the ground. Fold yourself forward. Step back into downward facing dog. Take a couple moments here to pedal your legs out again. We're going to take the right leg, reach it up in the air, and bend the knee open. Open up your hip. Now pull your knee right close into your belly and round your back, knee to nose. Sweep the leg back up in the air. Step the foot up between your hands. Join with your left. Lengthen into a flat back and fold. Arms out to the sides, come all the way up and bring your hands down through your heart. Okay, take a breath. Rest at any time that you need to. So hands at the sides, standing nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Lengthen into a flat back. Bring your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Give your legs another little pedal, just getting yourself into place here. Bring your left leg up in the air, bend the knee open. Open up your left side. Now you're going to take your left knee, pull it right into your belly, rounding your back. Sweep the leg back up in the air. Step your foot up between your hands. Join with the right foot. Lengthen to a flat back, fold forward. Now this time, we're going to do that nice slow spinal roll. So keep your belly muscles pulled in, roll yourself up. Good. You can do some shoulder rolls at the top, maybe turn your head from side to side. We'll take our hands behind our back, take a nice big stretch through the heart, pulling those shoulders back, and relax your hands. Okay, we're going to bend our knees this time. Fingertips touching the ground, arms reaching up, holding here. Bring your hands to your heart and fold forward. Inhale and lengthen to a flat back. Bring your hands down, step back into a high plank this time. First high plank. So your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. You're keeping your abdominal muscles nice and strong. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths, maybe pedaling out your legs. We're going to take the right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Pull your knee into your belly, round your back, knee to nose. Sweep your leg back up in the air. Step your right foot forward. This time, come down on your left knee. Float your arms up. Maybe look up. Bring your hands back down. Step your left foot forward. Lengthen into a flat back and fold. Bend your knees. Coming into chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart and straighten out your legs. Okay, let's take a big breath. You probably feel the blood moving around and the lungs starting to open up a little bit. Bend your knees, arms up. Bring your hands to your heart and fold forward. Lengthen into a flat back. Bring your hands down, step back into a high plank. Back into this posture, nice and strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths and maybe a few pedals of your legs. Take your left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Pull your knee into your belly, rounding your back, knee to nose. Sweep the leg back up in the air. Step your foot up between your hands. Come down on your right knee, arms floating up. Take a big breath. This time we're going to bring our hands down, and option to either bring that left leg back and come into child's pose, or some of you might want to stay in downward facing dog. So we're going to decide where we want to be. Now, some of you may still want a little bit more. You want to keep your heart rate going. We're going to take a flow here, a vinyasa. Come forward to a high plank. You can modify with the knees down or keep the legs lifted. Lower yourself down to your belly. Tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale into cobra. Curl your toes under. Come back into downward facing dog. We're going to do that again. Stay in child's pose or stay in downward dog and skip the flow. You're going to pick what works for you. So come forward to a high plank. lowering down. Inhale, cobra. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Let's all meet back in downward facing dog. This time we're gonna walk our hands back to our feet. So you're at the bottom of the mat, back of the mat, folding forward. Shake out your wrists, maybe give them a little roll. Sway your body if that feels good, but keep your core nice and strong. We're gonna roll ourselves up, that nice slinky roll. Take your hands behind your back, nice big stretch. Good, and back to center. Okay, so you can stay at the back of the mat. I'm just gonna face toward you. We're gonna come into a little bit of a balancing pose here. I want you to lift up your right heel. Any amount that's available to you, maybe bring that foot inside your leg. So you can bring it below the knee or above the knee. Some of you might want to take a half lotus here, but you're just not pressing on the knee. Very careful to not press on your knee joint. If it works for you, you can take your hands to your heart. Some of you might even want to release the arms up. Some of you might want to close your eyes. It all depends. We're going to hold here in this tree pose, trying to take nice deep breath. This is a grounding pose. This calms us. We're going to take another big breath in and exhale out. And then bring your hands back down through your heart. And then we'll release the leg and shake it out. Okay, we'll do the other side. Bringing the hands to the hips, come up on the left tiptoes, taking the variation that works for you. Whatever makes sense. Try to do the same thing that you did on one side to the other. Getting yourself nice and steady, bringing your hands to your heart. You're lifting up nice and tall and strong through the crown of your head. It's okay if you wobble. Just come back in, give it another try. Maybe you want to release the arms. Maybe you want to close your eyes or change your gaze to a tricky part of the room that you wouldn't normally look at in this pose. Take another big breath. It's really common to hold your breath. And bringing your hands back and releasing the leg, and we'll shake it out. Okay, let's do one more very good stretch, but it's a balance as well. So let's take our right hand and we're going to grab our right foot. If you're able to do this, I want you to just, you can have, of course, your hand on a wall, but I want us to just try and get a nice quad stretch, and you might also feel it, oops, you might also feel it on the top of your thigh. Some of you might get fancy and you want to touch, grab the foot with both hands, whatever's good. Some of you might want to stretch an arm up. Okay, I'm going to take one more option here. So either staying completely like this in this stretch, or I'm going to turn and get a side view here. Hopefully I don't fall. Some of you might want to grab the inside of your foot and you're going to start to lift up that back leg, taking more of a dance. Just for one more breath. And bringing everything back, arm down, release the leg, and shake it out. So everything works, everything builds in yoga. You start at one point, and there's a continuum, and there's lots of options in between for everybody. So we'll do the left side. I'm going to use my wall. So staying here, getting this stretch, lengthening through the front of the body, pulling your shoulders back. This helps to also open up the chest. So different options, just like before, you can take that right hand and reach it up. Remember, if you wobble, just give it another try, come back in. We are doing our yoga practice, not our yoga perfect. We're gonna bring our hand to the inside of the foot for those that want to, working on our dancer's pose variation. Try to keep your arm close by your ear if you are in this variation. And then we're gonna come all the way back. Nice and easy, releasing it all and shaking it out. Okay, so we are still at the back of the mat. Let's line ourselves up or stand ourselves up at the back of the mat. Taking the arms, inhale up, exhale, folding forward. Lengthening into a flat back, bringing your hands to the ground, and I want you to walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Remember, you can always take tabletop or child's pose, but I'll go from downward dog. So from downward facing dog, we're gonna just give our legs another couple seconds of pedaling. And then option, come forward to a high plank, keep your core nice and strong, press back into downward dog. We're gonna do that again. Come forward to a high plank and back into downward dog. One more time. Come forward to a high plank. For those that want to, lower yourself down. Inhale into cobra. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. So we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. We're gonna take our right leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands. I want you to look under your body. You're on the ball of your left foot. We're gonna start to lift ourselves up, coming up into a high lunge. So your front knee is over your ankle. You can always bring that back knee down. Holding here. Let's take a little bit of a twist. Bring your right arm forward, your left arm back. Let's bring the arms back up. And now bring your left arm forward, your right arm back. So keeping your abdominal muscles pulled in. This is great for strengthening the back and the belly. And of course the legs. Arms back up. Bring your hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. If you'd like, come forward to a high plank. Lower down. Inhale, cobra. Back up into downward facing dog. Take a breath. We're gonna bring our left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands. Looking under your body or on the ball of your right foot. As you feel steady, bring yourself up. Remember the modifications. You can always come down on your right knee. Lengthening up nice and strong and tall, opening up our hips, straightening or strengthening our legs. We're gonna bring our left arm forward and our right arm back. Bring your arms up. Bring your right arm forward, left arm back. Arms back up. Bring your hands down. Step back, by plank. This is the option, of course. Lowering down, coming into cobra. Some of you might be doing upward dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, let's decide here. Do you want to take another break in child's pose? A very valuable break. Do you want to stay in downward dog? Or for some of you that want a little more activity, come forward to a high plank. And I'm going to count you down for 5. We're going to lower down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming into cobra or upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Okay, walk your hands back to your feet. Roll yourself up, nice and easy. Give your shoulders some rolls. Forward and back. Interlace your hands behind your back. Take another big stretch. Release your hands. We're gonna go through that one more time, a little more flowy. All right, standing nice and tall, arms out. Inhale, exhale, folding forward. Lengthen into a flat back. Bring your hands to the ground. Walk yourself up into downward facing dog. Take a breath in downward dog. Make sure that you feel steady and grounded. Right leg goes up in the air. Bend the knee open. Step your foot up between your hands. Give yourself some time. Lift yourself up into your lunge. Right arm forward, left arm back. Arms up. Left arm forward, right arm back. Arms up. Bring your hands down. Step back, either into child's pose, downward dog, or high plank. For those that want challenge, for 5, 4, we're lowering down. 3, 2, 1, coming into cobra or upward dog, downward facing dog. Take a couple big breaths. You're breathing in and out through your nose. All right, left leg, lifting it up, bending it open. Step your foot up between your hands. Float yourself up. Left arm forward, right arm back. Arms floating up. Right arm forward, left arm back. Arms floating back up. Bring your hands down. Step back. Last time of doing this, lowering down if you'd like, or taking child's pose or downward dog for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming into cobra or upward dog. And then let's all of us stretch back into a wide knees child's pose. If you feel strongly like you want to stay in downward dog, go for it. We'll roll our wrists. I just need to know a time check. Roll your wrists. Okay. All right. Let's come into the child's pose, and we're going to take our right arm and thread it underneath the left. You can take your left arm and drape it behind your back. Release the arm, unthread. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Left arm, threads under right. Maybe take the right arm behind your back. Only bring the arm behind your back if it makes sense to do that. If you feel too much pressure on your neck, it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Come back down. Okay. So let's take another big stretch here in child's pose. I actually want you to really reach forward, like slide those hands as far forward as you can. You're gonna find that your elbows and your forearms are lifting up off of the mat. I want you to push back through your hips so you feel this big stretch happening in your low back, in your legs. Okay, we're gonna soften the pressure, and I'd like you to slither forward onto your belly. We're gonna stack our hands. I hope you can still see me. We're gonna stack our hands. Bring your forehead to the back of your hands. Zip your legs together, so nice and close as together as you can. And keep your forehead on the ground to start with. Pull your abdominal muscles in. I want you to float your legs up. So you're gonna float your legs up any amount that you can. You're keeping them nice and straight. They're zipped together. Nice big breath, your core is strong. Now, last but not least, I want you to engage your glute muscles and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the legs. You can give your hips a little shake. Stretch out your back. So keep your legs close together still. Now this time we're gonna float up through the chest. So lifting up the head and the arms, just hovering, keep the back of your neck nice and long, and you're gonna keep your core strong. Feet are still on the ground. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower back down. Once again, you can give your hips a little shake. And you know what? Let's actually even just take a little mini stretch here. You can release your arms, bring an ear to the ground, and then bring opposite ear. Okay, come back to center one more time, doing this spine strengthening work. Stacking your hands, maybe switch the stack of your hands this time, floating up through the head and the chest. Float the feet up this time. Engage your core muscles. Engage your glute muscles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Give everything a little shake, just a little shake. Bring your hands beside your low ribs, curl your toes under, ease yourself back into child's pose. Now you can stay here in child's pose or come up into downward facing dog. We're gonna just do one more short little flow sequence here for those that want it. So from downward facing dog, let's look forward to the top of the mat. Step your right foot, then your left foot. Lengthen into a flat back. Fold. Take your arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Bring your hands down through your heart. Hands at the sides, nice and tall. Inhale up. Fold forward. Lengthen into a flat back. Bring your hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. Give your legs a little pedal. Take your left leg, reach it up in the air, bend the knee open. Step your left foot up between your hands. Join with your right. Come into a flat back and fold. Arms out to the sides. Hands come down through the heart. Okay, last time, last side, arms up. Fold forward. Come into a flat back. Bring your hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. If you want, we're going to do one more vinyasa, one more flow. Come forward to a high plank, lower down. Inhale up into cobra, upward dog, and downward facing dog. Okay, let's all of us come to a seated position. I want you to bring the soles of your feet together and just fold forward. You can round your back, pull your belly muscles in. We did this right at the beginning. We'll come all the way back up. Let's stretch our legs out in front of us. Take your hands behind you with your palms flat on the ground and your fingers pointing towards your toes, and just stretch back. And it doesn't have to be like a huge arching back stretch, but you're just trying to open up through the chest and give your neck a few little twists. Maybe even letting your chin come towards your chest. Maybe even gently pointing your chin towards the ceiling, but never putting too much pressure on the back of the neck. Okay, we'll bring ourselves up. Let's take our right foot. We're going to bend the knee and bring it inside the left leg. Bring your arms up in the air. Inhale. Exhale. Grab whatever you can, whatever part of your leg is available. Stretch your spine nice and long, and then pull yourself in. We're going to sink down. I want you to try to keep a straighter back as opposed to really trying to bring your face towards your knee. You can draw your abdominal muscles in. You can be pushing that right foot inside the leg, but you're really trying to just stretch into the leg here. We're going to take one more breath. And we'll lift ourselves back up. Take your right leg and step it over. We're going to twist towards the bent knee. So you can lift yourself up nice and tall, using your right arm like a ruler, and we'll twist. Let's come back to center, and we're going to take a little counter twist to the other side, as much as you're able to do. You're still up nice and tall. And we'll come back to center. Now, before we switch to the other leg, we're going to do one more thing. I want you to keep your leg bent at 90 degrees. Take your ankle, bring it onto your left thigh. You can give it a little massage, see how that feels. And then if this is giving you a stretch like this, then you stay like this, that's perfect. If you need to move a little differently to get a different stretch, take the movement that is compatible with your body. Let's all of us try and breathe in and out through the nose wherever you're at. Get this really deep stretch in the hip. And we'll come all the way back up. Let's release the leg and just give a little shake. And then just like we did before, we're going to take our hands again, palms flat to the ground, fingers pointing towards the feet, And we're just gonna open up the chest again. It's like as if somebody was holding onto your shoulders and just prying them open gently. You're just trying to stretch open gently. Now, if you want, if it works for you and you want to do things like bend into your elbows a bit more and explore how that feels, go for it. But the purpose here is just to let this position really pull open your lungs and pry open the shoulders, as I was saying. All right, we're gonna lift ourselves back up. So we're gonna do that same pose, bending the left leg, having the right leg stretched out. I've just flipped for the view. Bringing your arms up, inhale, exhale, fold. And again, grab whatever you can, wherever it makes sense, and pull yourself in a little more deeply. Trying to keep your spine straighter. It does not matter how this looks. If you feel it, you're doing it. That's the most important thing. It's okay if this leg is up. That's all right. It'll go down as time goes on, the more we practice. All right, bring yourself back up. We're going to take our left leg and step it over. Twist towards your bent knee. So again, you're going to pull yourself up nice and tall. You have your left arm using it like a ruler. Keeping your neck soft. And we'll come back to center. We're going to take a little counter twist to the other side. And back to center. We'll bend our left leg. Left ankle bone goes onto the top of the thigh, the right thigh. Maybe wiggle it around again. Give that massage into your quadricep muscle. Decide where this works. You need to hold on to the leg. You're going to stay like this. That's okay. You might not feel like you're at like an easy figure four. That's okay. Whatever is happening here, you're going to just try and stay with it. If you need more, you can come forward. Let's try and take 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. All right, we'll come all the way back up. Release your leg. Give it a little shake. And now from here, I'd like us to come forward into a nice draping forward fold. So as if your upper body is a blanket and you're just draping it out onto your legs. And you can bend your knees here. This is like the most comfortable forward fold. I want us to try and take 6 breaths here. And you're really aware of your breathing. You're breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your nose. All right, we'll come all the way back up. And we'll just take a little stretch back for a moment, just an easy stretch back this time. Now we're going to do 1 more forward fold, but this time it's going to be a little stricter. I want you to try to keep a straighter back this time. It's okay if your knees need to bend still, but I want you to try to keep a straighter back. So we'll bring the arms up, inhale, exhale, grab whatever you can, wherever it is on the leg. It might be the feet, might be the knees, and just fold yourself in. And it's a super duper stretch in the back of the legs. You can keep your toes pointing towards the ceiling. Remember, your knees can be more bent if that's what the hamstrings will allow. Take 1 more breath. And we'll come all the way back up. Okay. Let's lie down on our backs. Bring our knees into our chest. I want you to go back to that nice gentle massage over your spine that we were doing at the beginning. Now, if it's available to you, you can take your hands behind your knees and pull your legs wider apart, or maybe you want to take happy baby. The one thing I want us to all be doing that is the same is we're breathing. We're breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. We'll take one more breath. And just release your legs. We'll actually just stretch them out for a moment. Just stretch them out onto the mat. Just give them a little shake, little shake. Okay, we're gonna bring our feet, bending our knees again, bring your feet to the outside edges of the mat. And we're gonna start to drop the knees from side to side in windshield wiper knees. If you want, you can bring your arms over your head. I always find this type of posture, this type of movement really helps to open up the breathing. It's also a really delicious stretch on your hips. Let's do this one more time on either side until you feel like you're back to being even. You've done even drops from side to side. You can bring your arms alongside your body. I want you to have your feet hip distance apart, and you should just be able to lightly touch the backs of your heels with the tips of your fingers. Arms are alongside the body. We're going to lift up the hips in a bridge pose. I want you to push down through your hands, like pushing your hands into the ground, and lift your hips up a little bit higher and take a nice big breath into your belly. And then let's relax back down. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and let your knees open out to the sides as best you can. Just try to relax your shoulders, try to relax your jaw. Take another breath. Okay, we're going to bring the feet hip distance apart again, knees are bent. Again, hands alongside the body, lifting up the hips. In bridge pose now, if you can tolerate a little bit more, if you want to take this a little bit deeper, we're going to try to tuck our arms under the body and clasping your hands together, push your hips up even higher and take another big breath. And then release your hands, gently lower back down. Bring the soles of your feet together again and let your knees open out to the sides. Okay. One more time. This one will even have one more option with our bridge pose. So bringing your feet flat to the ground again, hip distance apart. Inhale, lifting up the hips. Maybe this time, again, tucking the arms under the body, trying to snuggle them under to get up a little bit higher, pushing your hands into the ground. And if you want, maybe this time coming up on your tiptoes. Again, nice big breath, really deep into the belly. And then soften your heels, release your hands, lower yourself back down, bring the soles of your feet together. Last time in butterfly pose. While we're here, let's maybe take a little bit of a movement with the head, just turning your head from side to side, just a couple of times, just to relax the neck. Okay. Take your hands to the outsides of the legs. Knees are bent. We're going to take the right ankle, cross it over the left thigh. We did this similar position when we were seated before. This time though, we're going to bend our legs towards us and grab your left thigh. So if that's too much, you can stay just like this in this position. The nice part about this stretch this time when we're lying on our back is that you get to really flatten out your back. It's less pressure on the back as opposed to before when we were trying to sit upright and we were using more of our muscles to hold us up. So this can be a little more relaxing. Let's take 2 more breaths. Some of you might want to extend that left leg up in the air and get a little extra stretch through your ankle, through the shin, pointing and flexing the foot. Okay, so if you have that left leg up in the air, I want you to bring it back down. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. This is sometimes tricky to do in real life. We'll try it where I can't see what anyone's doing. I want you to take your right leg, you're gonna hold on to it, stretch your left leg out flat on the mat. Grab onto your ankle on your right foot, on your right leg. probably with your left hand. To the best of your ability, I want you to try to step that foot over, so you now have your right heel beside your left hip. So you've just stepped it over the body. Now, for some of us, that's going to feel too tight and you're not going to be able to hold on to the ankle anymore, and that's okay. For others, you're going to feel like you need to pull on the ankle and you need to pull the foot more towards your face. You're going to find whatever works for you and whatever gives you the stretch. You're going to feel it in the opposite hip. It's just gets into just a little different muscle groups than just that thread the needle stretch that we just did. So you're trying to push your right hip more to the ground as you keep your right foot on the ground. Let's take another breath. Okay, so just gently release this leg, the right leg. Just stretch it out on the ground. Just stretch it out. Give it a little shake. Okay, we're going to bring our feet flat to the ground again. Take your left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. So we'll go back to doing thread the needle, this time on the left leg. Bend your leg towards you. Let your back press into the ground. You can feel the whole length of your spine, releasing. Try to not clench your teeth. We'll take one more breath. And then just like we did before, for those that want to, you can extend your right leg up towards the ceiling and maybe roll the ankle. Take one more breath. Okay, so we'll try with this pose again on the other side. So we're going to lower the right leg back down. I want you to grab onto your left leg. Stretch your right leg out on the mat. You're going to hold onto the ankle of your left leg. Step the foot over your body, trying to bring the sole of the foot flat on the ground. So you have your left ankle beside your hip here. And then now I'm on there's a different view that you can see here, but you're going to try to actively, if you need a deeper stretch, you're going to actively push your left hip more to the ground as you're pushing the foot on the ground on the other side. I hope that makes sense. As long as you're feeling something and it doesn't make you want to cry. We'll take one more breath. Okay, we're going to just release the leg, stretch it out, let it go. Let's do one more thing, well, a couple more things. We're going to bend both of our knees into our chest, and if it's available to you to do this, stretch both legs up in the air. Now, you can totally support the backs of your legs. I know I didn't say that there was any props that we needed today, but this is a time if you have a towel or a strap, you could loop it around your feet. If you don't have it, that's okay. But we're just going to extend the legs up in the air, and then we're going to play around with it. If it feels good for you to do things like bring your legs into a V for a moment, bring them back up, maybe drop a leg forward, alternate. Maybe you don't like to do any of these things. You want to just keep your legs straight up in the air. That's okay. We're going to stay here for 10 more breaths. This is part of our cool down, not only our physical cool down, but our mental cool down as well. Maybe wiggle your toes. I hope you've been able to hear me better this time. I'm still trying to figure out how to get music to work as well. Okay, we'll take one more breath. And start to release your legs back down to the ground. Stretch them out. Just let the blood rush back in. We're going to do one more twist. Bend your left knee in. Take your right hand on your knee, bring your leg across the body. Stretch your left arm away from you, maybe gaze towards the hand. And take a really beautiful stretch here. I want you to breathe nice and Slowly and deeply, you're at the end of your practice. There are documented benefits to practicing yoga. They help us when we are in self-isolation, that we get to all do this together. We are at home, but we are together. Let's come all the way back with the leg, release it out. Give it a little shake if it needs it. Bend your right leg in, left hand on your knee. Pull your leg across the body. Stretch your right arm away from you. Maybe gaze towards the right arm. Let's take some nice, slow, calming breaths. You're doing all the right things for yourself by practicing some movement, some yoga. Maybe you'll get to go out today and have a walk. Maybe you'll get to lie on your couch and watch Netflix. It's all good. Good, whatever you need for your well-being. And we'll come all the way back and just release your leg. Okay. This week, I don't have a clock near me, so I have no idea what time it is. I'm gonna guess it's getting close to 11:30, I hope. 11:23, okay. So what I want you to do is bring your arms into cactus arms. So you're gonna have the backs of your hands touching the ground. If you can't have the elbows bent and have the backs of the hands touching the ground, you can stretch them further away. But this is a lovely movement posture here to do, to just continue to encourage us to feel open and bright and elevate our mood. So when we stretch open through the chest and the heart, I want you to close your eyes and you're just going to follow your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. I want you to try to relax your spine towards the mat. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. We're going to stay here for 5 more breaths. Don't worry if your mind doesn't feel blank. That's okay. You're just breathing. This is your short meditation. Okay. We're going to just take the arms, bring them alongside the body. Palms are facing up. I want you to get yourself comfortable. Make sure that you feel warm. If you need to grab a shirt and put it on, or a blanket over your body, just get yourself feeling comfortable and warm. We're going to stay here for a few moments, just about 120 seconds approximately. Just close your eyes. I want you to start from the crown of your head, soften, work your way down through your face, softening your neck and your shoulders. Work your way down your arms, releasing all fingers, softening your ribs and your belly and your hips and your legs, all the way down to your knees, your ankles, and your feet. And any remaining tension that you have in your body, just let it float out through the soles of your feet. We're going to start to bring ourselves back. Start to put some gentle movement in your fingers and in your toes. You can deepen your breathing. Maybe turn your head from side to side, just to wake up your neck. And then we'll do one more thing with our neck even. I want you to take your hands and just interlace your fingers behind your head and just very gently lift your head up the smallest amount. We're not doing like a crunch or anything like that. You're just lifting up your head and then just pull your neck a little bit to the right, pull your neck a little bit to the left. And then just gently let your head come back down to the ground, releasing your arms. We're going to roll over to our right side and lift ourselves up to a seated position. You can come into a gentle cross-legged position or whatever feels comfortable. Bringing our hands to our heart. Close the eyes, and I want you to just take a moment here on this Saturday in April to find in your mind something or someone that you are grateful for. So thank you so much for joining me for practicing today, and I hope you are all well and stay safe and healthy. I miss you all. I look forward to being able to see you again in person. Namaste.